And now we're going to move on to our next keynote, and this one is in fact remote, just to kind of keep you on the edge of your seats. However, Slido is going to be used the same way because we'll have Jonna Heliskoski joining us shortly, and she'll be talking about sparking curiosity and shared ownership in co-innovation programs. Here's Jonna Heliskoski.
So good morning again, participants of the EBSCON 2024. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Jonna Heliskoski, Senior Lead from the Finnish Innovation Fund SITRA. I'm truly honored to be here today and would like to express my sincere gratitude for the opportunity to share with you our insights into sparking curiosity and shared ownership in co-innovation programs. Thank you for inviting me, and I heard excellent questions after the first keynote, so looking forward to those as well. But before going into our observations and learnings concerning my topic today, a few words about the Finnish Innovation Fund SITRA. The Finnish Innovation Fund SITRA was established by the Finnish Parliament in '67. It was a gift celebrating the 50th anniversary of Finland's independence. Our operations are actually funded by the investment income from the original capital received from the Parliament and the Bank of Finland. We are considered strategically independent, think, connect, and do tank. However, we are officially still supervised by the Finnish Parliament. Our mission is to promote well-being of Finland and to accelerate economic growth within the limits of nature's carrying capacity. Our role has changed quite considerably over the years. For the first 20 years or so, SITRA was an R&D funder. For the next 20 years, we were capital investors and educators of the political leaders and civil service managers in Finland. Since 2010, our focus has shifted towards societal change-making. Currently, we are also increasing our R&D funding again, this time targeting particularly societal innovations, meaning innovations that have great societal value. Our role as a change maker is reflected in our spending, of which a major part goes into practical experiments and pilots. These are the co-innovation processes I shall discuss in more details with you. So, how to spark curiosity and shared ownership? And how do we advance societal changes in practice? Our approach to change-making includes 4 phases. We begin with the diagnosis. It is followed by the focus. Then we are ready for the experiments, which will be conducted in a fashion that supports the last phase, scaling forward. Let's look at each of these phases in more detail. Here we go, the next slide should be working perfect. In any co-innovation process, we need to have a shared North Star, a goal we wish to reach. A useful time frame for such a goal is 3+ years. The North Star goal doesn't have to be measurable, but it should be ambitious yet obtainable. And most importantly, it should require goal-oriented and systematic shared effort. If things happen without us, it's not a North Star. In order to focus on the right challenges, we need to understand the main reasons stopping us from reaching our goal. This is the diagnosis. A rule of thumb says that time spent in good diagnosis is spared manyfold in execution. After diagnosis, we are ready to build the bridge between our North Star goal and what should get done. For that, we use challenge-based strategy thinking by Richard Rummelt. In his excellent book from 2 years back, The crux, how leaders become strategists. Ramelt presents an idea that is both easy to understand and to apply in practice. Most importantly, we have found it very useful when deciding what to include in our programs and what to leave out. Here are some examples of sparking curiosity and building shared ownership in the diagnosis phase. What we usually do is that we engage stakeholders and not only the so-called usual suspects in problem scoping. In addition to inducing novel ideas, we are primarily interested in understanding the gaps and the opportunities to, for example, bring together actors and activities with innovative solutions. We are currently also looking into opportunities to utilize AI for that purpose. AI has a lot to offer in terms of shared ownership building. For example, we have plans to experiment how, let's go back here. We have planned to experiment how a startup, a growth company, or researcher could use AI when aiming to map innovation networks to identify gaps and opportunities to contribute. Also, we are interested in understanding how AI could support looking beyond the obvious, widening the perspective. Then to the second phase, and that's all about focus. Without going into detail about the challenge-based method, I will only conclude that it enables us to name usually 3 most important challenges we need to tackle during the next 18 months. Challenges can be both problems we need to solve or opportunities we should grasp. 18 months, a year and a half, is long enough time to get something done. Simultaneously, it's short enough to awake the sense of urgency. It's easy to see that you really cannot spend the first 6 months just planning. You need to go to action, and that's the wisdom of the time frame. After naming the challenges, we focus on each one individually. For each challenge, we identify key stakeholders we need to come along to succeed. This means in practice network building, but not in general. We need networks which match our concrete change or innovation objective. And finally, we align stakeholders' missions, tasks, and resources to build shared ownership. Interestingly, an effective way to spark curiosity in this phase is by showing how things get done. We're usually rather skilled in goal setting and have good readiness in discussing our competencies and activities in great detail. Where we lack in execution is in bridging those two. In impact thinking, we talk about matching our outputs with the desired outcomes. For this, we use OKRs, objectives and key results. In addition to having 18 months perspective to challenges, we set annual objectives. They describe the benefits and the value we need to produce to others, namely to our stakeholders. In other words, objectives do not tell what we do, but rather what are the effects from our actions. To allocate resources across collaboration networks, we then use quarterly key results. They are always measurable and verifiable. From key results, we induce weekly tasks and resource management needs. In practice, how to get things done is all about strategic governance. You cannot really emphasize enough the importance of mission alignment. We need to build shared ownership and trust among those involved in the process. Instead of forcing our agenda on others, we should begin by understanding our stakeholders' perspectives their goals, their dreams, their needs. Mission alignment is a process of making shared goals desirable to different stakeholders by helping them to succeed in their own endeavors. I would argue that some of the challenges ESG and the wider sustainability agendas are currently facing in the US, for example, result from the sustainability practices being unattained from the main operations of business. Let's see, the right slide should be there again. This means that sustainability doesn't have or is not considered to have significant business effects. It's not seen material to key operations, and this is a great challenge indeed. The key learning here is to avoid being non-essential. Whatever your innovation or change agenda is, know your stakeholders truly and highlight the benefits they receive and your agenda's connections to their goals and needs. After focus, we continue to the actual experiments. What we aim to do is to build a culture of using experiments in everyday work environments. By experiments, we mean systematic practices to innovate and learn. You may have noticed that change and innovation leadership discussions have lately begun to emphasize the importance of everyday collaboration and rapid experiments as main sources of innovation. This is also one of the reasons why we talk so much about the importance of creating psychological safety to support employees' willingness to experiment. Sometimes simple things, such as seeing the familiar from a new perspective, may be enough. Small changes in perspective may have a great potential effect. Based on our experience, we tend to address contractual needs and immaterial property rights, IPRs, only after we have a relatively concrete understanding of the potential innovations. We would argue that this is too late. Contractual questions and IPRs play a major role in building trust and shared ownership among stakeholders. It is therefore preferable to bring those questions to the table from the very beginning. The third similar topic concerns impact financing, particularly in the domain of societal innovations. Financing the scaling phase requires securing financing from multiple sources with varying requirements. Impact investing and outcome sourcing offer good opportunities, but require quite a lot of knowledge to capitalize on. Let's see. Here we go. During the experiment phase, we put quite a lot of effort into sparking curiosity by sharing insights and opening opportunities to contribute. Our aim is to expand our collaboration networks to prepare for the scaling phase. Even though each experiment or co-innovation process is likely to produce value, either in a form of innovation or as learnings, there is additional value attached to the bigger picture. Many of our co-innovation programs include a number of experiments under one shared theme or challenge. It's therefore useful to model and visualize the system level logic for value creation. The model plays two roles. First, it helps to position the current experiments to the overall picture and reveals gaps and new opportunities. And second, it highlights potential synergies and motivates deepening collaboration between different experiments and stakeholders. Then to the fourth fourth phase, which is called scaling forward. By scaling forward, we simply mean that after each step of experiments, we need to revisit our challenges and see where we need to focus next. Creating contractual and financial basis for scaling is a major part of ownership building. But value is in looking forward, accelerating the change, learning and modifying practices based on first-hand experiences. We spark curiosity by showcasing value and revisiting challenges to update the path forward. Just to sum up, how to spark curiosity in co-innovation programs. You need to engage stakeholders in problem solving. Look beyond the usual suspects. Then you need to show how it's done. Demonstrate your ability to move from words to action. Thirdly, share insights and novel opportunities. And finally, create additional value with spillovers and revisit the challenges. Then the question of how to build shared ownership. For this, utilize AI to find gaps and opportunities. Ensure materiality become essential to your stakeholders. Model and visualize system-level logic and benefits. This motivates to deepen collaboration. And lastly, create contractual and financial basis for scaling. So this is our approach to advancing societal changes in practice. Thank you for this opportunity and your attention. Stay curious. I think we may have a few minutes for questions or comments for you. So thank you and looking forward to your insights as well.
And thank you. And indeed, we have time for a couple of questions. I believe we'll do 2 or 3. How does SITRA manage challenges when different stakeholders have varying visions of innovation and societal change? That's a good one.
Absolutely, an excellent question. That's one of the reasons why we put quite a lot of effort in the diagnosis phase just to make sure that different stakeholders engaging us or collaborating have similar type of understanding of the challenges we need to tackle and the root causes. So that's one of the ways to find shared platform to find a common ground. But afterwards, instead of like forcing all the different perspectives together, we try in our processes to enable each stakeholder to advance also their own endeavors, own goals. So there's a balance you should find between shared objectives, shared activities, and the ability for each stakeholder on its own advance similar kind of goals individually as part of the ecosystem. So it's a balancing act which we are trying to learn in every program we do. Excellent question.
Thank you. And as last question, and again, there's a ton of questions, but we'll just do these 2. Can you share any specific examples of co-innovation projects that were particularly successful and why?
Also a good one. We have a number of such projects ongoing. And I think the most, without naming one particular project, I would say that those which I consider most successful share one particular aspect. And that is that if you look at the theme or the analysis, diagnosis in the beginning of the process, the extent to which during the innovation and co-innovation, the network or the stakeholders have been able to learn from action like revisit and rethink what the challenge is all about and where could we find actually the right ways to solve the problems we are, or create new opportunities. The openness and the curiosity in the within the process and during the process, those are the hallmarks, I would say, that describe the most successful co-innovation processes we have had. We have had many of those, but this is something also we are learning as we go along. So how can we facilitate and support such learning within and during the co-innovation?
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for being with us and answering all these questions so openly. It was a pleasure. Thank you very much, and bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.